Welcome all to the final night of the Trans Plays of Remembrance Virtual Short Play Festival 2020. My name is Joe Michael Rezes, pronouns they, them, theirs, and I am the director of the festival you are about to watch, and your host for this evening. For those of you tuning in for the third time, thank you for your support and enjoy the same speech you've heard for the past two nights. New viewers, please join me in this history and archive in the making. Back in July, a call for submissions went out for short plays written by trans playwrights to be featured in a live stream format. Purely readings, nothing more, related to the Trans Day of Remembrance, broadly construed. The Transgender Day of Remembrance is a day meant to honor and memorialize those in the trans community facing anti-transgender bigotry and lost to such violences. The origin of the Transgender Day of Remembrance was in 1999 by Gwendolyn Ann Smith as a vigil in tribute to the life of Rita Hester, a Black transgender woman. In remembrance of Rita and the many Black, Indigenous, and other people of color within the trans community lost this year alone, we gather tonight to remember, yes, but fundamentally to resist. Through making art in coalition, writing, collaborating, crying, breathing, and existing as a conglomeration of nearly 30 artists. The Trans Plays of Remembrance Festival has made work that moves beyond the sheer need for transgender representation in theater. We have connected across airways that we now open up to you, fellow members of the trans community, allies, and audience members who have stumbled your way into this space. We welcome you. But we refuse to mourn our lost trans siblings on any terms less than joyful ones. The motto of the last few nights and today reads as follows: let us remember transgender stories in our past, present, and future. Remembrance does not begin with death. We offer ourselves, our lives, our work as proof that memory refuses linear temporalities. Tonight, you will be witness to two plays under the theme of world making, with a special performance of a piece by award-winning novelist and playwright Bill Wright. A talkback with the artist will follow immediately. As a content warning, tonight's plays contain mentions of rape, sexual and interpersonal coercion, gaslighting, verbal and physical abuse, suicide, murder, anti-transgender rhetoric, homophobic and transphobic slurs, and queerphobic realities writ large. Please, live tweet, share, post about this festival as it's happening using the hashtag TPOR. Again, that's TPOR for Trans Plays of Remembrance. Connect with the actors, applaud, share what you love, and show your support. It's our last night. Visit our website below, transplaysofremembrance.weebly.com, for more information about our team, the casts, the playwrights, and social justice organizations brought in by each member of the festival. Peer-to-peer payment apps are also listed on the site as well. And you should always, and I mean always, this is the third night I'm saying this, you should always tip trans actors, playwrights, artists in general. Just do it. Come on. Without further delay, we present our fifth play of the festival, Nick Hadikwa Maluko's #MeToo.
At Rise, Black man, a security guard, is hugging Black trans femme. Black man sings to Black trans femme, old school D'Angelo.
You're my lady. You're my lady.
First time he said,
I love you, baby. Real soft.
tears streaming down his beautiful cheeks, head mine held in the crux of his manly palm.
What did you call me? Huh? You heard me, right? I asked you a question. Listening, were you? No, you were not. Yeah, oh, yeah, you were? Then what I just say, huh?
Something about being gay because gay Black boys are dead boys.
Dead boy, dead boy, dead boy.
He says, and I remember thinking, what's the difference between I love you and I'll kill you when you're trans? Back then, I presented as non-switchy, pure femi boy, 6-inch high fashion stilettos, lusting after dark street corners deep into the late night. Too cool for high school. So what I did was hang with my rainbow crew, queers, mostly older Black butches, total hardcore types, tortured passion nestled in the pocket of their rugged throats, resistance, resilience as a theme, and substance of their vocal prowess. I'm talking old school Black butches who knew exactly how to treat a beautiful Black woman by day like an African queen at night. Kicked out? Guess I was. Homeless? Yes, indeed. Beyond isolation, dislocation, alienation. So, yes, not want, not need, not thirst, not hunger. I starved for queer connection.
Connection, connection, dead boy. Connection, connection, dead man. Connection, dead Black man, child, connection.
He says, and instantly I see myself at 10 years old. Think rainbow family, chosen, thicker than bloodline. My tribe of past lovers, true allies, trusted friends, the kind of deep connection that went straight to my heart's queerness. Sank deeper than my longing, and all truth be told, I was willing to die for it. It's true, more willing to die than disappear, or be erased, or make myself permanently invisible to survive. So, yeah, I'll say it. Even when everything deep inside me screamed, don't you dare entertain the thought, I did it anyway. Walked straight back into his warm arms.
Come, baby, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Oh, come on, baby. Don't look at me like I'm a Trump supporter. Don't do that. Not to us, baby. Us. Look at me. I'll get help. I will. I will. Promise. You believe me, don't you? Do you?
He cooks, just for me.
Black man searches for a bouquet of flowers.
Hold up. Close your eyes for a sec, boo. You are gonna fall in deep love with your man again when I show you what I got for you. Ready? It's a big deal. I mean, big surprise. All for my boo. Mm-hmm.
He feeds me fresh, organic, grown strawberries with a crisp caramel cream.
Bouquet of fucking flowers. It was here a second ago, right here. Where'd I put them? I bought a bouquet for you. It was supposed to be a surprise. Fuck. You seen them shits anywhere?
He sings to me, you're my lady, you're my lady.
My diva. Marry me?
Drop down on both knees. He does.
My divine.
He never introduces me to his homeboys, let alone his mama.
My diva.
He abuses me.
My divine.
Verbally, sexually, spiritually.
My diva.
I never saw that big surprise of bouquet flowers, or a wedding ring, or heard church bells as I walked down the aisle in my gown, but maybe, just maybe, him gifting me with the fantasy is more than enough.
Come into my arms.
More than enough for now, anyway.
Deep, baby, inside. God. Why can't I stop myself? You feel so good, so right, for always. What is it about you? I feel beautiful in your arms, affirmed. How come it comes together natural with us?
He smiles.
I love you.
He says, real soft, over and over.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Tears streaming down his beautiful cheeks. Something about strong Black boys who read as gay men / fake tops because they sleep with trans women, but identify as heterosexual in public might as well be dead.
Dead black man is dead black boy. Dead black man is a deadly man. How deadly can a dead black man be? Do you know?
See, he knows what I know, that there is no difference between disgust and desire when you're trans. Because uncles call you pretty while your cousins call you faggot. Because those very same cousins lock you downstairs in the basement to take turns sexually assaulting you. Because they call me sweetness, princess, boo-boo, baby doll while raping me. Because your pastor prays for your sinful soul to lust after your beautiful boy body. Because Black women despise you for not being Black enough. Because white women despise you for not being woman enough. Because somewhere along the way, you learn life is a lot easier when you despise yourself. Because complete strangers hold so much power over your queer body. Because you don't exist, because you're not allowed to, because Black trans femmes don't live beyond 35, becomes homelessness, because the gay community is transphobic, because the healthcare system is for rich white people, because the English language can't invent a pronoun that holds my complex queer truth, because it's open season on killing Black trans people, because cops don't give a shit about what happens to someone like me, because the law is criminal, because misogyny, sexism, because institutional racism, because shame, because I can't use the public restroom or I'll die, because I'm not pretending or performing my gender because I can't breathe. So how do I live in a transphobic world? How do I learn to love myself fully? How do I unlearn making myself invisible? I am telling you, I am vulnerable. I am telling you, I am erased. I am screaming frustration because there is no difference between disgust and desire when you're trans. Can you hear me? No? Do you hear me? No. How? How come nobody hears me scream?
Black man facing the mirror, practicing.
Check this out. Listen close. I love you. No. Okay. I love you. No, wait. Let me. I love you. I love you. How about that? Lyrical magic, right? Of course I'm right. Totally.
Vulnerable to anyone with power over my body.
I love you. I think I'm finally getting it. I love you. Nice. Yeah, you like that? I love shit. I fucked up the tonal boom ba bass line from the start. Last time, I promise. One, two, three. What's wrong? What is it?
When he rapes your asshole, then calls you a pussy because that's what it means to be a man.
Is it me? Is that it? Am I wrong?
Dead parts keep dying without breathing life back.
Dead parts keep dying without breathing life back. What are you saying? What's that supposed to mean?
That you're killing me.
I am not.
Yes, you are.
Don't I always,
Look at me.
always,
Look at me.
long neck, graceful, right here. I am looking at you.
Do you see me?
The length of your spine, you know what it reminds me of? Rhapsody in brown, like music, like jazz. I want to reach for it, but can't. Like music, like jazz. All I can do is experience you, baby.
Nice. Now answer my question.
My. Hungry power bottom thirsting. Lucky for you, Daddy got his lyrical A game on Uber. In answer to your question, yes, I do see you. I'm ready. Next question.
Who do you see?
I don't want to talk about that.
About what? About the fact that I'm
Don't you dare say,
transsexual?
shut up. You hear me? Don't nobody says that word. Not in my house. I'm not gay. You are not gay. We are not gay. Understood? There's nothing gay about this. Never, ever.
Blackout. Lights up. Black man under the spotlight, fist in the air. He is frozen. The image reads like a still life photograph of a rage-filled yet terrified young man. Black man exits. A beat. From off stage, background noise is sudden, sporadic, violent banging that eventually comes to a stop. Alone, Black trans femme is cornered, clearly traumatized. She is shaking, maybe rocking herself, back and forth, maybe giving herself a hug for self-care, comfort.
I pray. Transness, you are a radical act of self-love. My power, my politics housed in my body, my femininity housing magic. So I believe. And because I believe, I speak that truth into existence. In the name of my queer sisterhood.
Is it me? Huh? That what it is?
In the name of my queer ancestors.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that there's something fucked up wrong with me, right?
Ashe.
Nah, don't fucking back away. Don't you fucking back away from me. This is what you wanted. This is what you've been asking for, remember? What did you say before, huh? A while back? What say some shit about real talk? Drop the BS, come 100% clean on our fucked up relationship? Well, tonight is that night. The night where your wish comes 100% true. So, what are you saying? There's something wrong with me. Me? Says who? You? Because what? Are you better than me? Is that what it is? Look at me. Don't look away. Are you better than me? Don't shake your head because I can feel you judging me every time we're in the same room together. Every single fucking time. I need to know what in fuck makes you better than me? Huh? Huh? Is it maybe is it cuz I'm a no good dumbass high school dropout security guard below minimum wage working the night shift at some dump so far off the grid as might as well be hell, off the coast of hell, an island side by side with a bunch of fresh off the boat low-life immigrants who can't speak one word of English, grinning while it's fucking freezing cold at night because they're so goddamn grateful to have a job, any fucking fucked up job. Even a stinking rat-infested junk pile, grease pit out in the middle of nowhere land, just so they can scrape enough to wire a few fucking dollars to their family in the whole country. Meanwhile, who am I? Huh? Huh? I'll tell you who I am. I don't have shit. I don't make shit. I don't make enough shit to own any shit. I can't see my fucking shitty future for miles on. But still, even though they've declared open season on killing the black man, dead to rot in the streets like a dog with a bullet directly at my skin color. Pat, 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 dead. But what do? I get up. Yes, sir, that's me. I go to work, rise and shine, face death every day. Fucking senseless, day in and day out, to push my hustle. Ride my bicycle like a 2-year-old straight to the train station to get to my dead-end job on time, to work the plantation, to have my money straight at the end of the month so I can clock my bill payments, because that's what it means to be a man. A real man takes responsibility. Real man equals check all the boxes. Work, check. Bills, check. Sports, check. Pussy, check, check, check. Not fake, not pretend, not imposter. Realness I am. Who are you? Huh? Don't look away. Look at me. Are you a woman? I'm trying not to laugh, but a joke is a joke is a joke. Seriously, you a real woman or a pretend woman who's really a man in a dress, in heels with a fake booty, with fake fluffy titties, fake weave, and 99-cent over-the-counter cheap makeup, pretending to be my fake barefoot bitch in the kitchen who cannot give me a baby. Can you get pregnant? For real, am I ever gonna see my son off your stomach when he pops out your very gay pussy? Crickets. Zero. Silence is your sound. Nothing but yet she, who is really a he, expects me, a good-for-nothing, broke, dead-ass beat security guard. Don't shake your head, bitch, because that's what you think of me. But yet I'm supposed to drop everything, expose myself, take a risk on your complete bullshit, label myself as gay, come clean out of the faggot closet, marry you, say, hey, everybody, I'm here, dear, and Mr. Queer, and then ride into the rainbow sunset, hand in homo hand, living happily ever after, like some skinny jean, blue-eyed motherfucker named Kyle in the suburbs on a date with the white gay mafia in Disneyland. Do I look like a Kyle from the suburbs to you? How stupid do you think I am? This life is for real. For real. Life, this ain't no Christmas special, no shit like that to click and switch the channels and start fresh from the down low to the up low. It don't matter if... Do you really think I care how fast you drop to your knees and suck my beautiful black dick dry? No! No! You will not destroy me.
Nobody wants to.
Nobody loves you. Nobody wants you. Nobody needs. Nobody cares about you. Not your church, not your family, not your daddy, definitely not your country. Step inside the barbershop and see if real dudes don't smell your queer homo self. Black people don't want you. Why are you alive? Blow your brains and ask yourself, why do you deserve to be here? Loser life, look at you, huh? Imposter, worthless shit. Deadbeat ass minimum wage piece of crap. Fuck. Fuck you think you're looking at, huh? You fucking faggot, you. I can't breathe.
Panting abates as Black man stares closely at himself in the mirror. Bewildered at his image, it's as if he's never seen this person before. what to make of himself, who he's allowed himself to become.
I can't see myself. This is not me. Oh, God, baby,
Don't even.
baby,
Fuck you.
but I didn't mean to.
Stop right there. Right where you are. I said to stop.
Stop, you're right. So right, I'm stopping. Please, baby, I didn't.
Do not.
I won't. I promise.
Don't you ever touch me again.
I won't ever touch you.
Don't come near me.
I don't come. I won't come near you. I won't even. Oh, dear sweet Jesus.
Get away from me.
I'm so sorry. Fuck. You're right. I'm wrong. What is wrong with me? What in God's name is... I'll get help. I will, but promise. You believe me, don't you? Do you? This is not me. Please don't look at me like that. Please. What do you want me to say? Am I gay? Is that it? Is that what you want? I'll say it. I'm gay. I'm queer. Don't go, please. Don't leave me. I am so scared. I'm begging you. Tell me what to say.
Nighttime. Even though I sleep on my stomach to hide my vagina, they find it. Flip me over with both hands. I cover my hairy mound, thinking my transsexual cock is resistance already. Dear transsexual cock, I am making this promise in honor of my queerness. I, me, am more than enough. Yes. As they rape me, it feels unreal and yet alive. From the depths of my numb confusion, my revolutionary truth is born. Yes. Powerful screams morph into chant poetry coming from my queer heart. I refuse to be a woman for them. I refuse to be a woman for them. I refuse to have a gender. I refuse to have a gender. I refuse to have a body. I refuse to have a body. I refuse to take ownership of my existence. My body is not their dumping ground, nor is it a grave for their sick, twisted pleasure. My body will not house nor be a sanctuary for toxic masculinity. I refuse to participate, own, or claim their version of reality. I'm not your victim, survivor, warrior, princess, queen, vixen, Jezebel. I will not submit to patriarchy because it is a hate crime. I will not apologize for not bowing. No to hate. I say yes to love. No to stereotype, no to gender roles, no to your rigid, inhuman, racist compartments. No to the gender police, thought police, border patrol. I refuse to honor concepts of time and space blind to generational trauma. I refuse to cement the power of intimacy with a shared language. Failure, helplessness, vulnerability are my core superpowers. And the affirmative yes, I come from dust, and to dust I willingly return. At that point, that moment of complete surrender, 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 when I know nothing because I am nothing, and because I am nothing, I know. All I know is nothing. This is when my nothingness becomes queer revelation. I flirt with it. The cis penis raping my mouth transitions into a hot, queer, trans lesbian's pussy, raping my tongue back and forth. She sticks her fingers inside my vagina, asshole, moving within spatial realities only queers of color crack open. I orgasm, not for cis men, not for masculinity. I come for my trans partner. I orgasm in the name of our queerness, in the name of queerness. Touch is the real revolution. Connection is a love letter. We are the eternity within. We are many genders, as many as there are people on the planet, each orgasm signaling the birth of a new nebula, another cosmic reality, another world, another self speaking another language. Yes, my Black queer body is not a prison. My body is not a prison. My body is not a prison. Queer lesbian fuckfest was born to transcend, to take back the power stripped from us before time began. Such is the manifesto tattooed on my heart. That queerness saves, queerness saves, queerness.
Saves? Are you my...
Personal savior? No. Queer community? That sacred space? Sister, beloved baby girl, know how long I've been waiting to love on you? Where have you been all this time?
Isolated?
They run to each other and hug.
Thank you all for watching #MeToo. Up next, we will be having a special pre-recorded performance by Bill Wright in a one-person short play entitled The Truth About Ms. Marsha P. Enjoy.
Once anybody knows you're a witness to a crime, your whole life goes right down the drain. So I figure I'll write my book and send it to somebody people will listen to. People listen to people they think have some power. Then everybody will know the truth. I'm in between places to live right now, so I come and stand here like I did that night under this light at the corner of Christopher Street across from the Hudson River, where they pulled her out. I work on my book called The Queen of Greenwich Village about my sister, Marsha P. Johnson. I start out with the facts. 46 years old, born Malcolm Michaels Jr. The newspapers mostly identified her as a Black transvestite, also known as Marsha P. Johnson. Like the term transvestite is an occupation. And when they say Black transvestite, baby, you better believe they know they've sent a message. Somebody you don't want anywhere near your Thanksgiving family dinner. Now, when Marsha first began wearing dresses at 5 in 1950, nobody was calling anybody transgender. In 1969, when she was in the riot at Stonewall, no, she wasn't calling herself transgender. No one we knew was. I don't know what she would have called herself today. It's a whole new era. But in 1969, Marsha didn't want you to call her anything but Marsha P. Johnson, activist. In my book, I asked the question, when that boy saw her in the river and called the cops, you tell me, why would they call it a suicide and then close the case before anybody could say what they might have seen? People say I should change the names and call it fiction, but my answer to them is, why would I want to do what those people did? They made Marsha's death a fiction story, saying she came down here to the Hudson River and committed suicide. I don't need to put out any more fiction about my sister than is already out there. No. The other question I'm going to ask in my book is, how could a person with so much fire? Listen, I saw her walk right up to 3 cops and say, "Why are you wasting time harassing gay people instead of arresting people who commit real crimes?" How could a person like that, with so much fight in her, commit suicide? That night of Stonewall, my sister Marsha P. kicked and spit and told the cops they were the real freaks. She knew what was coming. We all did. They threw her into the back of what we used to call a paddy wagon and put her black ass behind bars. And the whole time, she never stopped shouting in their faces, even when they locked her up in the holding cell. I want you to look me right in my eyes and tell me, yes, that sounds like somebody who would take their own life. And I will tell you, you don't know a damn thing about how we lived before there were finally articles about us that said we were human beings. And between the boys who came all the way from Long Island on Saturday nights to throw beer cans at us, to the Johns that were leaving us for dead in sleazy hotel hallways, we were still living our lives. And my sister Marsha was right there in their faces, telling anybody and everybody, I am Marsha P. Johnson. I am an activist. And if you want to arrest me, go right ahead. If not, go about your business, because I got better things to do than stand on the corner and chat with cops. Marsha would tell me, we're gonna be free real soon, girl, I promise. There is light at the end of this damn tunnel. The Queen of Greenwich Village. She wore that title like the crown of flowers you see her wearing in these pictures I'm gonna put in my book. Anybody with that much hope did not take her own life. She loved living it too much. And even if those men in their cheap blue uniforms, even if they all lie and write up reports that stink with deceit about what really happened, I'm gonna tell what I know is the truth. And I'm gonna put it in my book, Marsha P. Johnson, the Queen of Greenwich Village. Long, skinny body, soft, pretty eyes, the wig from hell, and a crown of flowers.
Thank you, Bill, so much for that. And now, our final play of the festival is Split by Akaina Ghosh, with a talkback to follow immediately. Enjoy.
Jesus Christ, hello? Oh, you can't rely on anyone these days. Hi there. I'm here to present a lecture on split soul theory. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I don't normally do this sort of thing. I'm here to talk about the beginning. Don't worry, I'm not touching that Judeo-Christian origin of the universe stuff. I'm here to talk about a different beginning. The beginning of us as people. You see, some people believe that a long, long time ago, there were 3 kinds of people: male, female, and what Plato liked to call androgynous. Each person was actually composed of 2 people, meaning everyone had 4 arms, 4 legs, and 2 sets of genitals. And these people would spin around in circles, cartwheeling around about the earth. The males were descended from the sun, females from the earth. The androgynous, my personal favorites, were descended from the moon. The gods were threatened by these creatures, so Zeus decided to cut each person into 2 people. Now, according to the story, these creatures longed for their original nature, their full form, and so they spent their whole lives looking for their other half, trying to find their soulmate. This is what Plato called the origin of soulmates. But rather than conceiving of this theory as a representation of pair bonding, I'm interested in what I'm interested in exploring is this narrative as a conception of the individual as multiple, the entirety of the universe within one body. Am I boring you? I can skip this part. Jesus fucking Christ. Hello? Who's there? I'm actually in the middle of something, so if you could just... Look, I'm trying to have a dialogue about gender.
Remember.
I can't understand you.
Remember.
What the fuck?
Silly girl, come here.
Leave me alone.
I promise I won't bite.
What are you doing here? I was talking to them.
Talking to deaf man's ears is a madman's task.
I was trying to help them understand.
Try harder. Words are empty.
Words are all I have. At least I'm doing something.
No.
No.
You're doing nothing.
Get out. I don't want you here. Stop that. I'm leaving. Jesus Christ.
Why are you running?
Get away from me.
I told her not to run.
No, you didn't.
He seems afraid.
Get away from me.
He's frantic.
He needs a moment to adjust.
I'm trying to do something. Can you see that? I'm trying to tell them.
She's trying to give glasses to the blind.
Please stop talking.
He needs space.
I need quiet.
They have come.
They have come.
They have come.
They have come.
They're here.
They're here.
They're here.
They're here.
Why are you here? I don't need you. I can do this on my own. Are you even listening to me? Say something. For the love of God, why won't you speak to me?
They don't speak.
They do not need to speak.
Then how the hell are we supposed to understand them?
Words are empty.
Words are empty.
They're all we have.
Words are empty.
Words are empty.
Stop saying that.
Words are...
Go away! I don't need you. I can do this on my own.
In the,
In the,
there was,
there was,
it
it
was.
was,
He said,
said,
she said,
they said,
they said,
in the,
in the,
they said,
they
he
said,
saw, she
he saw,
knew, it was,
she knew,
it was,
it was,
it was, it was,
it was,
it was,
it was.
I'm sorry. I must have. I don't have the right words to say. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I wish I could prove to you with analytical eloquence that I deserve to exist, that I could cite Plato and everything would be transparent, but I can't. I can't prove my worthiness to you. There are no words. They do not exist. There is just being. And if being is not enough, I don't know what else to do. I am afraid of you. I'm afraid of what your words will do to me. I don't want your words. I just am. Can't I just be? Why so many words? Can't there be nowness? Can't there be quiet, understanding, empathy, human connection, non-human connection? I'm showing you my hand. Can you see it? I am blood and veins and adrenaline and darkness. I am not you, and I am all of you. I am 1,000 beings of light, 3 million fallen angels, and a God.
Thank you all for watching our final night of the festival here. If I could have all of the actors and designers and team members pop up, please, 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 please arrive. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. We are going to wave hello. We're going to wave hello. And those of us sticking around for the talk back will stick around, but I just wanted to show all of your wonderful faces before heading out. So thank you all. And for those of you staying for the talk back, that will be happening right now. But goodbye all. Thank you so much for your time and your art. Mwah. Thank you, thank you. Lovely. All righty, everyone. Here we are. Here we are. Let me do this. Oh, okay. Lovely. Okay, so we are going to start our talk back on world building, everyone. That is what we are going to talk about today, world making and world building. So let's do some introductions. My name is Joe Michael Rezes. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I am the festival director.
Hi, I'm Luke Woodward. I use they, them pronouns, and I'm the festival curator and dramaturg.
Hi, I'm Annie Beller. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the stage manager.
Hi, I'm Mason Sams. I use they, them pronouns, and I am the festival sound designer.
Hi, my name is Akaina Ghosh. My pronouns are they, them, their, and I wrote Split.
Bill, you're up.
Hi, I'm Bill Wright, and my pronouns are he and him, and I wrote regarding Marsha P.
Hi, my name is Yusuf Sievers. I use he, him pronouns, and I was in Split and #MeToo.
Hi, I'm Daisy Walker. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I was the woman / the serpent in Split.
And Troy?
Hi, I'm Troy Rocket, and I played Zat and the narrator in #MeToo.
Was that everyone? I think it was. And I'm not sure if Nick Maluka will be joining us later, but we will see. Bill, I have a question for you. Your virtual background seems to be on. I don't know if that was on purpose or not.
No, not at all. I'm
Okay.
scrambling trying to figure out how to get rid of it.
Okay, if you go to the little caret next to stop video, and then choose virtual background,
okay,
and then hit the word none.
Aha.
Ah, here. This is amazing. A design choice. I thought you were making a choice. I wasn't going to stop you. It was beautiful.
Not at all.
No, wonderful. Okay, everyone. So in placing these pieces in conversation with one another under the theme of world making, Luke and I were talking about this a lot during the process. These pieces together have explosive universes housed within them. And I know that the cast could probably speak to this upon first reading the pieces as well. There's such a richness to the texture, elements, essences, choices of language housed in the text. And in a way, I think this has to do with a refusal to abide by any type of genre. Like throwing away or riffing on canon, but I would absolutely love to know, specifically, Akaina, first off, where you drew inspiration for this piece in terms of genre. Do you as a writer consciously create your own genre or form, or is it modeled after some of your favorite authors?
Yeah, I mean, I think I like to mess around with structure and form a lot. I like to break, different barriers and different norms, especially, this piece is very much about language and like breaking the barrier of language and how language is used in theater. Definitely this piece in its conception, started with split soul theory, which, as I think a lot of queer folks probably found out about through Hedwig and the Angry Inch. And so that was kind of like the seed of this idea. And I think that the narrator speaks to my own personal struggles with the insufficiency of language. And then I wanted to kind of just like completely explode this world and look at, okay, like what if we like throw out everything? Like what are the elements we're playing with, which is where these characters come from, these archetypes of like the woman, the serpent that comes from the earth, the man, the raptor that comes from the sky, and the androgynous god. And like, what if we start with the base elements and take it from there? And what if we explore what language even is? And then where does that take us? And then kind of like zooming back into the world we're familiar with and having this, address kind of just pointing to that insufficiency of language and kind of acknowledging like, I don't have the right words and words feel completely and entirely insufficient, and maybe that's okay. And maybe the sheer existence of me and us and we is enough justification for our right to exist.
Right. That's so wonderful. To the cast of Split, so Daisy and Yusef who are here, I'm wondering if you could speak to what it felt like / feels like now, just coming off of it, what it feels like to embody the world that I kind of created, not just in Zoom land, but also just aesthetically, emotionally. Any thoughts about like the formal qualities of the world or anything that came up language-wise that we talked about in rehearsal?
Is that a point at me? I felt like when I first read the script, I was so struck by how much world building there was, and just how in not a super long script, and just reading it on like my PDF on my computer, just how immersed I felt in it. And then once we started, we brought it onto Zoom, and now I'm like in my all pink bathroom, and it's just been growing and growing. And I think it's a testament to the script that a script really like focused on the insufficiency of language can still use language on a piece of paper to paint such a beautiful picture. I have loved it, and I've loved getting to play around with that and be in this little world. I thank you, Akina, for writing this and letting us play with it.
I second all of that, and in taking on this play, it's a little disorienting at first, but I think that that's a marvelous aspect of creativity. You know what I mean? Life can be disorienting sometimes, and so I thought that I know that the play really evoked that out of me, and so like embodying that was like, you know what I mean? And that's what it is, and it's like letting that be a truthful experience rather than an experience we try to like curve the edges off of to make presentable, but to be a little disoriented, still kind of insufficient, you know what I mean? And to have that be potent, is a beautiful thing to see on paper.
Can I jump back in for a second? Just like going off of what Yusef just said, I think part of the fun that the two of us had in this piece is that there's no way to perfectly embody a concept or an idea, and so trying and inherently failing, but also in that way succeeding because it can't really work anyways. It's just, again, it's like the way that the words can carry all of those things and just spiral them is just it's so exciting. I love it.
Yeah, there was something about working on this play that just it brought me back to the joys of working in live theater, just the way to play with language and also play with just the colors and textures and richness of what was offered to us, and also realizing what a future I don't know the virtual has in the form. Just so wonderful and inspiring. Yusef and Troy, cast of #MeToo. I have a similar question, and I did talk to Nick a little bit, and I know that Troy, you have worked with Nick, and I want to, before this process too, on new works. Nick's world is one that's so specific, not just to trans experience, but specifically Black, queer, trans realities, truly a manifesto against hegemonic powers through direct address and offering a glimpse into the violences, isolation, and ultimately potential of community building and futures for Black trans people and coalition. So to the two of you, to embody those realities in this work, not just on Zoom, but just to embody those realities as a world that Nick presents, I just want to know your perspective of playing these roles, and especially the violences that are contained too. Any thoughts about working on Nick's work in particular?
Sure, I'll go first. Troy's like, yeah. It's a beautiful and visceral experience. There's something about these worlds, having been a part of this world, it really makes it, I feel proud that it's on display and it's transparent and it's visible, because I think a lot of times with worlds like that, they can kind of suffer in silence and just evaporate without the context of time or damage that is dealt because of that reality. And so I think that this play really brings to the surface the visceral narrative and truth that we are programmed with living through, you know, Black Indigenous eyes and living in a queer world. You know what I mean? Like those are the things that we are indoctrinated with. And so to see it put into play and then to just like push start and go, you know what I mean? It's a visceral experience, but I think it's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to be visible and to be, to allow that transformation of experience to happen.
Troy, any thoughts on even even a broader question I have is, you have previously worked with Nick and on another play. Do you see connections between the form that Nick is working within that draws you to Nick's work in particular?
Yeah, I mean, his monologues are always a challenge. His other play was set in East Africa, and so I think the Africanness of just like, I can't really define that, but there's no holding back. You know, the world is happening, and it happens, and I don't know, I love how raw and honest. I think that's something that crosses over within the other play, and definitely monologue heavy, but like it's like you really get that internal dialogue that we don't often see. So I think, yeah, both the actors did a great job of like, they were so convincing, you know, like it's just, and that's what the characters, it's just like the parts of yourself that we are just kind of unevolved. We all have those parts, and then we want to be ready too. So I just think they did a great job at that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I had a conversation with Nick, right? I think it was one of the newer drafts when we got one of the newer drafts of this short play. We were talking about Nick's form as like unabashedly working with language, and this like I want to use the words that Nick exactly used to describe the form, but like I think he said the Black trans grotesque is the exact way that he put it, and it's so true, and we see that with the language in both of these plays, that there's something about fucking with language that just breeds worlds in these wonderful ways and gives light to these identities, but in a way that feels genuine and feels like it's coming from a place of genuine connection built in the language, and also saying fuck to the language. You know, it's so wonderful. I have a question about creating trans works, trans world, because something that comes up in Nick's play that Bill, actually you and I had a conversation about, which is about balancing, paying tribute to the past and balancing remembrance with also the future of trans identity and existence. And I'm wondering, more specifically, I'll be more specific, what are the possibilities of intergenerationality in trans futurism? And our conversation about, Bill, our conversation about generational gaps in like pronoun usage and the expansive nature of the gender spectrum as we now understand it and live it. And I wonder if you could speak to your experiences as a queer person maneuvering these developments of language and identity and how it's manifested in your art and your life.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting because for me, there has really been a history of, I mean, the seeds for this were planted, I think, very early on. Not necessarily by queer writers, but I think one of the first writers in terms of theater was Entezaki, with a lot of her work that of course was woman-based. But then you have, even today, you have, for example, the author of Moonlight, who deals very, very much with language and queer life, with poetry and language and queer life, so that I think that that's very present, and I think we're moving in that direction, but I think we have been for a while. There's a writer who is no longer alive, Asado Saint, who also dealt a great deal with that. He died of AIDS, I guess, in the early 90s, but his work is also very much about language and mixing it with the queer experience. And so in a sense, I've inherited that more. I certainly don't feel like I'm creating it. I feel like it's very much inspired by people who come before me.
Definitely. Yeah. There's something too that I'm picking up on just now, even thinking about histories and the intergenerational nature of all of these works, that we see legacies and genealogies coming through. That one of my questions that I had prepared was about, like, do we just say fuck to the canon? Like, we don't need it anymore. And I just am thinking about just even a kind of the way that you riff on myth and split soul theory in general. And I don't know. I don't think we need to. I think it exists. Like, our histories are there. And I think future, again, like I mentioned at the top, like, memory is not limited to retroactive thought, right? Its memory is expansive in time. And so, yeah, including our history and our future is so important. Cool.
Of course, the conversation about canon is an open one and has been going on for a while as well. So, I always want to know which canon exactly we're talking about. For me, of course, it's Baldwin and Morrison. So again, I'm coming from a tradition of poetry, of nonlinear. So again, when people talk about the canon in academic terms, I always have a kind of raised eyebrow. I don't think I don't throw out my canon, because my canon is very precious to me.
Exactly. Same. Thank you. Yes, for sure. I'm thinking now very much so in terms of the form of theater. That's my question, because I know that you all work in different realms. This is opening up to the entire group. Now that we're at the last night of the festival, I'm thinking about why theater? Why are we choosing to tell these stories through this medium? And I think that's a question that I've been getting from some people who've been watching the festival, not just like, why are you doing Zoom theater? Why not some other type of virtual performance? But yeah, I'm wondering why theater? Why have you as an artist chosen to move in this form and continue in this realm? Anyone?
Yeah, I can start out. So I can take sound design or sound recording or engineering or whatever a lot of ways. And it's a fortunate thing to be able to do, to be able to sit down in a recording studio and record an album with somebody if I want to. But I chose to pursue theater because, like, a kind of put in the play, there's a stage direction that says they explode into a galaxy. And that's something that is impossible to do on stage and just as impossible to do in Zoom. But being able to take that conception and embody it, to put the audience into it, is just something I haven't found anywhere else. You can do it with virtual effects in a movie, but it's not the same as watching actors embody that while you hear this chanting reverberance under it to let people feel the weightlessness, I suppose, of whatever the man and the woman exploding into a galaxy is.
Yeah, I'd love to jump off that. Just speaking of exploding galaxies, and I think for me, just in my experience, theater can get a lot weirder in a way that I love. Like the imaginative quality of theater. I think the parameters of reality in theater, at least in my experience, feel different than in film. I think that there are a lot of amazing, innovative filmmakers, and I admire them, and I so envy them in ways, and for me, I feel like in the theater is like it's my home. It's where I feel like the rules of reality can change, and that's, I think, why it has continued to be a medium for me.
You know, it's interesting. actually directed a piece that's being presented tonight at the same time that this is happening. And, you know, directing for Zoom has been a real challenge for me. I found myself saying over and over to actors, now, if I had you on stage, I would, and especially for really intimate moments, I find that so hard. I told them not to do the kind of thing where you pretend you're looking at someone, but you're really kind of looking off into space and we're maneuvering the boxes. And because I think theater can be so much about the quality of intimacy, that it is so hard to translate. So I'm wondering if any people here who've worked more extensively than I have, what are your thoughts on that?
You know,
I keep seeing theater as bad film. I mean, Zoom theater as bad filmmaking. And I'm having a hard time with that.
No, I can speak to just because of the sheer number of rehearsals that we had for Split and working with a kindness piece. There was something about this play that I just said, you know what, this can work on Zoom. And I think it's the idea of the way that a kind of wrote this short play that plays with language, plays with the aesthetic, plays with texture, that I felt we can do this in our individual homes and make a different type of experience for audiences viewing it. And I hope people watching this talkback will agree. And hopefully it kind of, maybe you can speak to the way that you imagined the play versus how the Zoom production for you came to be. But I think that there are ways that this form and the way that we're the way that we're pushing forward with specifically queer theater artists, from what I can tell, working in the virtual format, seem to be making really good use of the shift that we have. But it kind of, I don't know if you want to, or Yusuf, both of you, anyone.
Yeah, I teach. I'm a resident artist at an acting company out here in California, and so we just did like 6.5 weeks of Zoom plays, all different plays. And the thing that it's really asked of us as artists is more trust. Like, we have no idea if they're even looking at the screen. You know what I mean? But there's a certain amount of over trust that we have their buy-in. You know, when we're in the normal theater, they bought a ticket, you can see their face, their clothes, their jackets are off, they're not going nowhere. You know what I mean? But like in this format, it's an empty circle, you know what I mean? And so it's more trust in a way that I think a lot of theater artists, we've never really had to, because we've had that visceral, you know, mirror neuron experience where I can hear you breathing and I can feel your sweat, you know. And so each play requires a humbling trust to say, imagine we in this world, John. You know, I played like Frederick Douglass, a farmer, like all kinds of stuff, and going off the screen and moving and just coming in like, we still here. Okay, yeah.
And jumping off that, just to say something about like trust and the way that the intimacy works across Zoom, I find myself having fewer moments of getting chills in rehearsal over Zoom, but when they do happen, they're much stronger. And I think that's a testament to the form not being impotent in any way, but just being something that is I don't know, different. It's different, and when you get it, it's so exciting. And yeah, that's all I know. But I would love to hear your thoughts on Zoom translation.
Yeah. I mean, when I originally wrote Split, I wrote it for the stage, and my brain went into stage brain, and I was so excited to see what all of these artists did with this piece, because I was like, it is an unusual piece, and I was just so thrilled, because I think that there was just this complete willingness to like dive in and be like, okay, like how do we like texture the space? Like how do we evoke this quality without being in the same room? Like how can we touch people's like emotion and gut without going through their like cerebral brain? And I thought that was done really powerfully, for me at least. And the you know, confusion and the bizarre of the lights, like all of that like felt very representative of all the original intentions. So while I think, you know, while writing it, I might have visualized it differently. The qualities and the emotional journey of the piece, I think, was completely echoed by this form. And I think we're used to seeing Zoom boxes in a certain way, and so seeing them in a really different way felt very exciting to me. And just, I was like, what's going to happen next? Like, what are they going to do next? And that was really exciting to me, and very cool about seeing this form in a new way, this Zoom format in a new way.
I felt really privileged to be at the rehearsal because I got to see it twice. So it was like taking this journey twice to this special place. So that was a thrill. I was trying to figure out how to get on, and Joe said, well, you should come to rehearsal and then you'll get to see how we move through. And I thought, oh, this is so neat. It was like going to Oz. And I thought, wow, I didn't expect this. So yeah, I think the world that was created was really, really wonderful. It was really thrilling. Yeah, for sure.
And if I could just say a testament to Joe's work throughout this entire festival on translating all these plays to Zoom, because when I picked them back in September or August or whenever that was, I didn't have it, like, we knew that it was going to be on Zoom, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to pick these plays because these would be easy to do over Zoom. I just picked the plays that I thought would fit best in the festival. And I'm like, someone else will deal with this. And so props to Joe for making this just all look so phenomenal.
Thanks, Luke. No, thank you, Luke. That's so nice. Lovely. Okay, I am aware of the time. I do want to wrap up just a little bit of this discussion around specifically trans theater and world making, right? I'm very excited, and I'd love to see what's happening in the sense that trans theater is moving forward in an expansive, intersectional, intergenerational mode of being. And rather than having like a category of trans theater, which is a very useful hashtag to find new artists creating in times of crisis for people watching us discuss this, I think what I love to see right now is a seismic shift towards futures of trans and queer playwrights making work which works within non-neutralized aesthetics. And I think that's a testament too in the virtual form as well, that we as artists can expand worlds and ultimately theorize about lived experience through art. And that's something that's been getting me very, very excited about this format. And that's really the way I want to wrap up that world discussion with that, because it's very exciting to me. And I'm excited to see where all of you all as artists, all 6 playwrights in this entire festival, all of the actors go in terms of collaborating after this. But before we wrap up, any questions, praise, joyful well wishes to each other? Anything you want to share?
I'd like to say something. I want to say thank you all so much, because I'm on the other side of the country and I never would have met any of you all without Wendy Marie. So I really, really thank you all. I thank Wendy, and I really appreciate you holding this space for a total stranger, me, to participate in very intimate conversations and communication. So I just want to express gratitude and appreciation for all of you.
Youssef, it's been such a delight getting to know you and taking on 3 roles across the festival. Like, come on, such a great job. And yes, I would like to shout out Wendy Marie Martin. Thank you so much for all of your work, working on this festival as well. You haven't been on any of the calls, but we know that you're here and all of the work is fully appreciated and you are loved. So thank you so much for your work. Any questions for each other? Anything before I wrap this up?
I have a question. Oh, sorry. You go.
Go, Bill. Go, Bill.
Actually, it was another thank you. I think 2 words came up in conversation that I think are really important. One is trust, and the other, I think, is courage. I think as we're moving into a lot of different new worlds at this point, that I think it's going to require both. And I think, especially from artists, I think that to be able to continue to speak your truth is going to be probably more challenging than it has been. And I think, especially for the queer community, I think that we're going to really have to forge ahead. And I think that it's going to take a sense of community. And I think that's one of the things that I'm very concerned about. I'm hoping that there won't be different factions. I'm hoping that we will come together as artists and creative people So it's the thank you and it's the wish for the future.
Yes, definitely. And I just appreciate all of the artists that we've had involved, including, I want to just shout out also Nick Adikwa Maluko for writing #MeToo tonight as well. Not joining us in the conversation, but on our minds. Thank you so much for your play. And yeah, any other thoughts, questions, phrases?
I just had a question real quick for Kaina on your usage of the Pluto's myth, because I actually also wrote a play using that to sort of translate to like transgenderness and that sort of thing. So I don't know, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it and like where you got the idea and what like made you think this is like a good metaphor, like way to tell this sort of story.
Yeah, that's, I mean, wow, that's very funny. I like that. I like when that stars align in that way. I remember I was fortunate enough to see Hedwig and the Angry Inch in New York not that long ago. I don't know, maybe 5-7 years ago. And while I was watching the show, and they have these, incredible visuals of that myth and these animations of split soul theory and of these these bodies that are composed of like multiple people. And it was really those images that really resonated with me and were very compelling, which is like the person that is multiple people and the person that contains multitudes. And so that it was kind of like the seed for this idea was just like, well, what if instead of it being like split soul theory and it's that, we find the love of our life by finding the other half of our soul, what if we are both halves of that soul? And that soul can be made of so many different combinations of beings. And that's what really inspired me.
That's amazing, Kaina. And also, working with the play again, just amazing to learn about so much philosophy at the same time. So wonderful, so great. It was amazing. It was so much fun. All right, everyone. I am aware of the time. I'm going to close us out. Here we go. For the last time, please go to the transplaysofremembrance.weebly.com to learn more about each playwright, actor, and activist we have had working on this festival. Oh, I'm not going to cry. Anyway, there as well, you will find links to learn more about community organizations and mutual aid funds brought into the festival by each artist. There were nearly 30 amazing artists and team members who came together to create this festival, a huge community of artists. We would like to, once again, and for the last time, thank the Ohio University Division of Diversity and Inclusion, Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender and Women's Centers, Tufts University's Department of Theater, Dance, and Performance Studies, and the Tufts University LGBT Center for their continued financial support to have made this festival accessible and successful. And I thank you all for staying for this talkback and all of you watching the talkback at home. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all. What a wonderful 3 nights. And now it has come to an end, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited for the future of all of these collaborators coming back together. And I hear whispers of projects already popping up. Ones that are in my imagination and in my dreams, and also in worlds that I'm actually hearing in close contact with some people. So so excited to see the future with you all. So good night, everyone. Good night. Good night.